Hi everyone, my name is Burd, and today I'm going to be starting a playthrough of Half-Life. I should preface this with a bit of background before I start. The Half-Life series is my favorite game series of all time. I adore this franchise, and the amazing community that's sprouted out around this game. It's sort of a yearly tradition to me to replay one of the games in this series in the spring. I'm not exactly sure why, but it's something I've always done, so I thought, why not record my playthrough of the first one? For those that don't know, this game was developed by Valve and published by Sierra Studios in 1998, and since then has spawned 4 sequels and has 2 spin-offs that take place within the same universe. And with that, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, we're just gonna go ahead and do a plain old new game on the medium difficulty. And this first episode is almost going to be entirely the train ride intro and the whole beginning section getting ready to go into the test chamber and such. Intro is pretty long. I'm not complaining about it by any means. I adore this intro.
47 a.m. Current topside temperature is 93 degrees, with an estimated high of 105.
Seeing everything unfold so calmly and simply before everything goes wrong, it's a great intro. I adore it. I really do. I suppose while we do take this train ride, it'll be good to give a little bit more background about my experience with this game in this series. I had played on consoles for my entire childhood, just about. Used to go to my grandma's house. She used to have a computer that we would play some games on. Lego Racers, Lego Island, age-appropriate stuff, of course. I would never be allowed to play anything like this at that age. But it wasn't until I turned either 11 or 12, and then as a gift, I was given a little HP laptop. It wasn't the craziest spec device on the planet. It didn't have a dedicated GPU or anything, so it was completely integrated graphics processor. But that worked perfectly fine for me, just because I was new to PC gaming. I didn't know how any of it worked. I didn't have any expectations set or anything at all in my mind of what I hoped for or what I wanted. So what I had done first and foremost is I got a Steam account, and I think one of the first games I had actually bought on Steam was either Castle Crashers, or I activated Team Fortress 2's free-to-play on my account. It was one of those, I can't recall specifically. Half-Life 1 wasn't a purchase until a little bit later on. But eventually I did end up getting Half-Life 1, just because through osmosis I had absorbed the knowledge of the fact that it was a really important game and that it was a really good game. And so I just started playing it one day on a whim and had immediately fallen in love with it. Despite its age and despite how young I was. That's a complaint I seem to notice with a lot of people my age, is they can, whenever they're trying to experience or just play an older game in general, they always complain about the age, they complain about how clunky it is and how clunky it feels, and luckily that's not something I ever really had to fight with. Because before I got into PC gaming, before I got my laptop, I remember my brother and I had gotten a Nintendo 64 from someone, and I basically had a crash course of older games at the time, especially early 3D games, and how jank they really were. So it was easy to basically train myself to just tolerate how weird older games were. Because it is really hard for people to go back and play anything that doesn't have modern ease of access, or is just not fun to control, I guess, for lack of a better term.
If you have an associate with a background in the areas of theoretical physics,
I'd say Half-Life 1 definitely doesn't feel as jank as a few older games from this era do feel. For sure, it has aged much, much better. Those might just be my rose-tinted glasses, though, just because I do adore this game so much. I will go to the ends of the earth to defend it.
Continued employment in the Black Mesa Research Facility. Missing a scheduled urinalysis or radiation checkup is grounds for immediate termination. If you feel you have been exposed to radioactive or other hazardous materials in the course of your duties, contact your radiation safety officer immediately. Work safe. Work smart. Your future depends on it. Now arriving at...
Alrighty, and with that,
test
we are
labs
done
and
with
control
the train
facilities.
section. Well, for the most part, we're gonna have to wait for the security guard to come and open the door, and he takes his sweet time to walk over here.
Please stand back from the automated door and wait for the security officer to verify your identity. Before exiting the train, be sure to check your area for personal belongings. Thank you, and have a very safe and productive day.
Morning, Mr. Freeman. Looks like you're running late.
Sure am. Open it, please. 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 Oh, he's taking a sweet time. I am playing with the HD models turned off, of course. I am no heathen. It's just, I wish you could switch out some of the, like, I wish you could pick and choose what you wanted to load. I'm not a big fan of any of the gun reskins by any means. I prefer the vanilla guns. But some of the character models would look a little bit nicer in the HD version. But then there's, of course, some character models I don't like. I'm sure there's definitely a mod out there. Once again, in the intro, I spoke about the community, and the community for this series is ridiculously dedicated to modding this game. And I'm sure there is probably a mod out there that combines only the best of the HD model pack with the best of the vanilla game.
Hey, Mr. Freeman. I had a bunch of messages for you, but we had a system crash about 20 minutes ago, and I'm still trying to find my files.
What a shame.
One of those days, I guess. They were having some problems down in the test chamber, too, but I think that's all straightened out. They told me to make sure you headed down there as soon as you got into your hazard suit.
Please, leave me alone until after the experiment. I can't be bothered right now. Excuse me, Gordon, but I'm rather busy now.
I wonder what this does.
My God,
stop
what are you
that.
doing?
Come on, Gordon. You trying to get me into trouble?
Maybe.
Weren't you supposed to be in the test chamber half an hour ago?
You'll just have to wait until after the test.
Please, leave me alone until after the experiment.
For those unaware, we're going to be seeing a lot more of that guy in the blue suit later on. Oh, yeah, gotta go get my suit.
Weren't you supposed to be in the test chamber half an hour ago?
Yeah.
Excuse me, Gordon, but I'm rather busy now. You'll just have to wait until after the test.
Always a legal requirement. We have to mess up the casserole.
My God, what are you doing? I can't be bothered right now. Weren't you supposed to be in the test chamber half an hour ago?
Magnuson's not going to be happy. Alright, let's go get suited up.
Hello, Gordon Freeman. It's good to see you. You'll just have to wait until after the test.
Alrighty. Fun fact, all of the names of the
Ridiculous ties.
lockers here are names of some of the developers at Valve. Laidlaw here, he's actually the head writer. He scripted the narrative for this game, the second Portal, I believe, and then a few other of Valve's games. Got Freeman's diploma, picture of his unmentioned child. Let's go ahead and get suited up here.
Welcome to the HEV Mark IV protective system for use in hazardous environment conditions. High impact reactive armor activated.
I must remember to report that.
Contaminant sensor power activating. Vital sign monitoring activated. Automatic medical systems engaged. engaged. Defensive weapon selection system
I wonder if I should
activated.
run that test
Munition
again.
level monitoring activated.
This should shake up those grand unification boys.
I gotta say, I think I've always preferred the HEV suit's voice in the first Half-Life over
Wrong airlock,
Half-Life
Mr.
2.
You know I can't let you through here. Sorry, sir. I've got to stay at my post.
Alright. Let's go ahead and get where we need to go.
Please, leave me alone until after the experiment.
With, of course, interacting with every single
Right on through,
scientist
sir.
we come across.
Looks like you're in the
Can't be
barrel
bothered
pit.
right now.
Hey, catch me later. I'll buy you a beer.
Now, we could take this, or we'll just take the ladder instead.
Greetings. Excuse me, Gordon, but I'm rather busy now.
You'll just have to wait until after the test.
Excuse me, Gordon, but I'm rather busy now.
Sorry, I'm on duty, Mr. Burd.
Ah, Gordon, here you are. We just sent the sample down to the test chamber.
We've boosted the anti-mass spectrometer to 105%. Bit of a gamble, but we need the extra resolution.
The administrator is very concerned that we get a conclusive analysis of today's sample. I gather they went to some lengths to get it.
They're waiting for you, Gordon. In the test chamber.
Love that line delivery. You gonna let me in?
Access denied.
This analysis is going to run
It's
perfectly today,
inconclusive.
don't you think?
Weren't you supposed to be in the test chamber half an hour ago?
It's about to go critical.
I can't be... What the hell is going on with our equipment?
It wasn't meant to do this in the first place.
A little bit of some very tasteful foreshadowing.
Please, leave me alone until after the experiment. Weren't you supposed to be in the test chamber half an hour ago?
You'll
I'm
just
afraid
have to
we'll
wait
be
until
deviating
after
a
the
bit from
test.
standard analysis procedures today, Gordon.
Yes, but with good reason. This is a rare opportunity for us. This is the purest sample we've seen yet.
And, potentially, the most unstable.
Now, if you follow standard insertion procedures, everything will be fine.
I don't know how you can say that, although I will admit that the possibility of a resonance cascade scenario is extremely unlikely.
Gordon doesn't need to hear all this. He's a highly trained professional. We've assured the administrator that nothing will go wrong.
Ah, yes, you're right. Gordon, we have complete confidence in you.
Well, go ahead. Let's let him in now.
Alright, let's go ahead, get up top.
Testing. Testing. Everything seems to be in order.
All right, Gordon. Your suit should keep you comfortable through all this. The specimen will be delivered to you in a few moments. If you would be so good as to climb up and start the rotors, we can bring the anti-mass spectrometer to 80% and hold it there until the carrier arrives.
Alright, go ahead and make our way down then.
Very good. We'll take it from here.
Power to stage 1 emitters in 3, 2, 1. I'm seeing predictable phase arrays. Stage 2 emitters activating now.
Gordon, we cannot predict how long the system can operate at this level, nor how long the reading will take. Please, work as quickly as you can.
Overhead capacitors to 105%. It's probably not a problem. Probably, but I'm showing a small discrepancy in... Well, no, it's well within acceptable bounds again. Sustaining sequence.
I've just been informed that the sample is ready, Gordon. It should be coming up to you any moment. Look to the delivery system for your specimen.
Oh yeah! Gordon, get away from the wheel! Shut it down! No! Attempt to shut it down! It's not! It's not shutting down! It's not!
And then everything went wrong. Alright, now the game really starts.
Unauthorized personnel.
Should probably take off the armor before you try and do that. Don't think he's gonna feel it. That always happens, and I almost, every time without fail, almost get hit by it.
Why didn't they listen? I tried to warn them. I never thought I'd see a resonance cascade, let alone create one.
Gordon, you're alive. Thank
Sure am.
God for that hazard suit. I'm afraid to move him and all our phones are out. Please, get to the surface as soon as you can and let someone know we're stranded down here. You'll need me to activate the retinal scanners. I'm sure the rest of the science team will gladly help you. Lead the way. I hope those people in Lambda Lab can get this under control.
Access.
Alright, come on, bud. I know you can do it.
Do you still say there's nothing but chaos here?
Love these funky little fellas. Alright, let's get going. Just wait back here for a second while it does its thing. There we go. Okay, there we go. Rip. Alright, let's make our way up. And that's why I didn't take the elevator earlier. Oh, jeez. Sorry for getting in your way, bud.
And why are they wearing science team uniform?
Okay, that one was personal. He just shot me for no reason. He was already down.
Got another one. Yeah, let's go.
I love the zombie designs in this one. Like how the head crabs have the little imprint of the skull on the underside as well. Just like how horribly grotesque the monsters are. Body horror monsters in general are always fun. You can do it. Keep it up. This guy wasn't so lucky.
That'll look nice in my trophy room.
Alright, let's keep going. Lost some health, so we'll go back to the locker room and fill back up. Just top us off. Get some ammo, too.
Now, I wonder if those boys could have made a bigger mess.
Front. We crawl right through here. And then that explodes, crushes him, and I remember my first playthrough, I had walked right into that. And I'd felt like the biggest idiot on the planet. Ugh. Let's get a move on. Seems to be doing pretty well for himself. I take it back. What you watching, bud? That's my favorite show, too. Let's get out of here. Sorry, bud. Okay, we got our gun. Deal with the hound eyes. Let's see what's going on over here. Nope, looks like I missed that. What a shame. Oop.
All right.
We're good. Okay, let's go ahead. Keep on moving. Oh, there you are again.
I refuse to go another step. You're going to have to leave me here, Gordon. This is as far as I go. I'm going to stay here and wait for my colleagues. I refuse to go another step.
Oh. For some reason, I don't remember a Vortigaunt spawning this early into the game. I guess I'm just probably misremembering. As of late, I haven't been playing through this version of Half-Life 1. I've been playing more of the Black Mesa Community fan remake. I think as it stands, I might prefer Black Mesa more, just because the levels flow a little bit better. I mean, of course it looks nicer. The levels flow a little bit better. I would wager I had a tougher time with the enemies in it for some reason. I think it just might be because I'm bad, though, more than anything. Okay, let me out. I'm sure that's probably a sacrilegious claim to say I prefer Black Mesa over the original release. If there's one thing that the original release will always have over Black Mesa, it's still Opposing Force, which was one of the expansions that were released by Gearbox. Same studio that ended up making the Borderlands games. They had also been tasked with making the PlayStation 2 and Dreamcast ports of Half-Life 1. The PlayStation 2 release ended up being fully completed and everything. And in that version, there was a co-op expansion about the two other HEV-suited scientists. And it was about them, like, delivering the sample up to Gordon, so you see them put it up into the elevator, and that little crystal sample that I had to push into the portal, or into the anti-mass spectrometer, or whatever it was called. You see that get delivered up, and then it's you dealing with the aftermath of everything going wrong after the Resonance Cascade as well from a different point of view. And it is a co-op campaign, so you and your friend, if you have 2 controllers and a friend that's willing to sit there and play Half-Life with you, can play a split-screen co-op puzzle first-person action shooter. I have a copy of the PlayStation 2 version, and I just need to actually sit down with someone and play it. I know the community has been porting. I believe it's already ported the that co-op campaign to the PC version. It's called Half-Life Decay, is what the expansion was called. And then, if I recall correctly, the Dreamcast didn't get released, and the exclusive campaign for the Dreamcast version was going to be Blue Shift, where you play as a security guard, Barney. But the Dreamcast release never happened. I can't remember if it was because of ultimately the poor sales of the Dreamcast, or some other reason, but they ended up taking that Blue Shift campaign and putting it on the PC instead. So the PC, we were supposed to only get Half-Life Opposing Force, but we ended up getting both Opposing Force and Blue Shift. And of the two, I definitely prefer Opposing Force. Talk a little bit more about Opposing Force later on, whenever it becomes maybe a little bit more plot relevant. Then I believe that, yeah, okay, that ladder takes me back up to the top. Don't need to go there, though. Love the sound design of the HEV suit chargers and the first aid stations. Just the sound design of this game in general. They're a little bit compressed, of course, by modern standards, but for the time, they sounded absolutely excellent. And the shotgun, for example, later on has such an amazing amount of punch in the sound and the animation and the power. It's a very, very satisfying gunplay. Right there, okay. I remember when I was younger, I always had a lot of trouble with the platforming in this game. I mean, first-person platforming is never an optimal choice for a gameplay experience, but I guess I couldn't comprehend how to just jump and place my jumps, and I had no depth perception. Okay, there we go. Now I'm on the other side of that bridge that had fallen. Let's keep moving. With that, I think that's actually a perfect place to go ahead and stop for this first episode. Thank you for anyone who is watching. I appreciate your time for sitting and listening to me prattle on about a game I really like, and anything else I've decided to talk about. Go ahead and we'll continue with the next episode. Adios.